Well, it's not like I'm a master or anything. I've just played a bit before. It occurs to me that I haven't told Hanako about my condition. I falter for a second, deciding to cover my tracks. That is a conversation for another day. Before I came here. Are you alright? Yeah, I was just remembering something. When I think about it, I shouldn't be afraid to tell Hanako about my condition and my time in the hospital. Judging by her scars, she has probably spent a fair amount of time in a hospital bed. But for some reason, I can't bring it up. At least not today, not on short notice. Eager to break off the conversation, I grab a random book from the shelf. It's some book on the world's fastest roller coasters, published in 1982. Wow. That's going to be like 30 miles an hour or something. Well, not very up to date, but it should at least be interesting. Well, we both got books now. Should we go sit down? Hanako seems to accept my bluff, and we head to the reading nook in the back of the library. Neither of us says a word, and we simply open our books and start reading. I try to read my book, but it would seem that in 1982 roller coasters weren't nearly as large as the ones built in the decades since. Most of the ones listed are made of wood. Something about that doesn't seem safe to me. Wait. Yeah, made of wood. There is still a lot made of wood. I know just recently at my Six Flags, recently as in 3 years ago, probably, we got a new wooden roller coaster. And I know Holiday World, I don't know how old that is, but I think that only has wooden roller coasters. I think it has the tallest wooden roller coaster is Holiday World. That was a freaky one, because it was like a straight down drop on a wooden roller coaster. Well, it didn't seem safe, yeah. If I'm going to ride on something potentially dangerous, I want it to be made out of steel or some kind of space-age alloy that has big words like titanium and ruthenium. I quickly lose interest and my eyes wander across the reading area to rest on Hanako. Hanako seems absorbed in her book, flicking back and forth through the pages as if confirming what she just read. I wonder if that's actually effective, or if she's just overloading herself. She unconsciously brushes her hair from her face, temporarily revealing her scar tissue. I'm still not sure about the protocol here. Is it right to ask her about her scars? Or her past? How long she was in the hospital? Does she still visit a doctor? These all seems like the questions you ask someone who just transferred to your school, translated into the local language. But to date, no one has directly asked me any of them. Well, except Rin, but I don't think I should use her as a guide to proper social behavior. For the time being, I'll just keep my mouth shut. If someone wants you to know something, then they'll tell you. Trying to force the issue might drive Hanako back into herself. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to close the library now. Already? I checked my watch. Somehow, as I was lost in thought, nearly 2 hours had passed. Do you want to check out those books? I can do it for you on the way out. Please. I'm done. I'll drop this one back on the way, though. It wasn't as interesting as I first thought. Hanako marks her place with a slip of paper and stands up. The girls head to the counter and I return my book to what I think is the right shelf. Yuko scans Hanako's book with practiced precision, but still manages to fumble it. Oh, there we go. Third time lucky. Since this is a non-fiction book, you can only have it for a week. That's okay. Yuko shuts down the library's computer and herds us out the door. Ugh, I didn't think it was this late already. But you're the one that told us you had to close. Yes, I know, but that was before I looked at the time. I'll see you later. Yuko bolts down the hall, her handbag trailing behind her like an awkward streamer. I guess all the librarians really are neurotic. Huh? Never mind. I was just thinking that I've never met a librarian that can organize their time, no matter how good they are with their books. Oh, I know what you mean. Hanako smiles in amusement. It wasn't meant to be a joke, but I must have reminded her of some other librarian or something. I have to get back. Yeah, me too. I didn't realize it was this late. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. No problem. I'm going back to my dormitory room now. Anyway, so do you mind if I tag along? Okay. Wow. Hisao, you're a bit forward. She doesn't like that. Hanako sets off ahead of me, and I need to jog a little to reach her side. We walk through the gardens, eventually arriving in front of the dorm buildings. Man, you walk pretty fast. I used to play in the soccer club, and you managed to outpace me. Hisao, you are so out of shape. Don't even talk about this. Soccer club. You're not... Soccer club. It's a soccer club, not a soccer team. I kind of regret saying that. It has less to do with her pace than with the fact that my condition has significantly worsened my fitness. And why is my computer suddenly overheating? Jeez. That was really random. Hanako's reaction is odd. I expected an awkward attempt to downplay her walking speed, but she just blushes while looking at her feet and smiling. Silence hangs in the air between us. That happens often around Hanako, but feels slightly different than usual this time. After a few seconds, I try to break the silence. Here you go. See you in class tomorrow. Sure. Hanako waves a short goodbye before pushing her way through the dorm's doors. I stand and look at them for a while before making my way to my own dormitory room. Oh, I don't know much about Japanese. Oh, chirping birds. But is it like, can I scroll? No, I can't scroll back to it. Is it character based? Like where each character is a word, or is it like on an alphabet or something? I don't know. I've been trying to read Korean lately, and that's an alphabet, so that's pretty easy to read for me. Just because I don't know how to read I guess like strictly like word-based language. I think Japanese is. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Chinese. One of those. I think. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Normally this would have been a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature. But it is 6 a.m. Covering my head with the pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that impact will send me instantly back to sleep. I would love if that happened. If I could just smack my head on my pillow and then just go back to sleep, that'd be so much easier. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply won't return to me. Alright, nature, you've won. See, I'm getting up now. The lack of sleep weighs my mind down, and there's only one remedy for this, a nice hearty breakfast. It would be nice to be the first person here, to be the first to dig into the piping hot pile of food, to sit wherever I desire. It would have been nice, but even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here, for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around one table, eagerly discussing game plans in between inhaling great gulps of food. I don't think Hanako is going to be here. It's going to be Lily, I bet. Or, no, not Rin. Maybe Emmy, and she might yell at me. Jeez, that'd be awkward. Scattered around the hall are a number of bleary-eyed students, probably suffering from the same ailment as myself, noisy birds. And of course, there are the people that actually enjoy getting up this early, the ones with their bags stuffed with textbooks and completed homework. It's not hard to despise people like that, even more so when you're tired yourself. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head towards the nearest table. Oh, it is Lily. Okay. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling her way around a small plate of eggs with her fork. It's almost a shame to interrupt her and her clockwork movements. I wonder, is this how a blind person zones out? Simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years? Just how a sighted person would eat while reading a newspaper? Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early. Oh, Hisao, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early. I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I greatly preferred to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness and as I begin eating my food. It doesn't take long for her to lapse into her previous mindless nibbling. Each short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. But after a few repetitions of the find food / eat food cycle, Lily puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin. Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a question? Damn, all I wanted is a little food and about 4 hours of sleep. And nobody says, can I ask you a question for a simple question? 4 hours of sleep. I don't know, is that average? I think I get like 6 hours of sleep. I know like recommended is 8 or something. I think last night though I got like 10 because it's a weekend. Sure. Do you think of Hanako as a friend? Huh, this seems like a leading question. Personally, if I was Hisao right now, I would say no. I think of her as more than that. I guess so. Why do you ask? No real reason. I do have another question though. Why is it that you think of her as a friend? This is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way that she deals with people. Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared off by her appearance. Really? I thought that kind of thing was well discouraged here, discriminating and such. If I were to put it one way, she furrows her brow in thought, a move which makes me slightly anxious as to what she's plucking from her mind. I'd say that you're a little naive. Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see. Why did you say that, Hisao? While Yamaku has a stronger sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature, after all, only suppress it. That's something I've noticed actually. Just little things, like how certain people and cliques avoid each other in the hallways. It's no different than my old school, really. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha-tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers behind her glasses. I guess you're right, but when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes. Like when we first met and I said, I see to you. And you just said that again today. I didn't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I tried to just put it in the back of my mind, treating people any differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. I talked to Hanako as if she were any other person, and so we became friends. At least that's how I think it happened. But you know, I feel guilty from just saying something like that aloud, as if I took the extra effort to think of Hanako or you or anyone here as normal people. I don't think that's right. Hisao, I think you are naive, but I also think you are a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits. I suppose I can take that as a compliment. Tell me, are you free tonight? Whoa, Lily, okay, come on. I'm trying to be with Hanako. If you don't count homework, then I'm free as the breeze. In that case, would you care to join myself and Hanako for tea? Okay, that's fine. I don't really have that much money at the moment, so going out isn't really... Oh, I didn't mean going out, just here, this evening. You can access the classrooms in the evenings here? No, that's not what I meant. Hanako and I often use my room for tea parties together. Feel free to drop by after dusk. Sure, I see no problem with that. What's your room number? 225. Room 25 on the second floor. Okay, sure. Well then, I'd best be off. I have class representative duties to attend to after all. Until this evening, Hisao. Yeah, catch you later. Hang on. Was I just invited to a girl's room after hours? Is that even allowed? Probably not, but Hisao, why are you complaining? There is the curfew here, but I've never heard any rules about visitors in dorm rooms. Even still, this is enough to get my sleep-deprived brain jump-started. Add to that a lukewarm breakfast and you have one hell of a pick-me-up. I grudgingly go to class, still a little excited at the prospect of breaking the rules. I feel a little like a kid planning to sneak out of his window at night. Well, maybe that's going a little too far when you compare an invitation to a party to 6 or so hours of lectures. I know which one wins. This sneaking out of the window thing, I've never done that. 'Cause I know my mom would probably freak out in every way possible. Not like mad at me, just like freak out, like call the cops, call everyone I know. That happened once. When I got out of, I think I was taking the ACT test or something early. Or not early, but my room finished it early, so we got let out early. And my mom wasn't here yet, and you're technically not allowed to have phones on you when you're in the testing room, so I didn't have a phone with me. So it was like, my mom's not gonna get here for like 30 minutes, I might as well start walking. So I started walking to my house, and I finally get home, and I thought that was surprising because I thought my mom would have like passed by or something if she was leaving the house. But apparently she was already out somewhere and then got to the school. I wasn't there, and then still wasn't there. She was freaking out, calling everyone, like all her friends, have you seen my son? And I was like, Mom, I just walked home. You weren't there. I walked home. So yeah, I would not sneak out the window. Misha and Suzune do little to relieve my boredom either. For once, they seem determined to actually complete Mutao's assignments. Nevertheless, the day eventually winds to a close. I hurry back to my room to wash up and comb my hair. Thankfully, I don't run into Kenji. Jeez, this is like a speed run. Before long, I'm leaving the boys' dorm. I nervously rap on the door marked 225, checking my watch once again. Is that you, Hisao? The door is open, you can come in. Lily's voice lilts, is that a word? Lilts the door and soothes my nerves. This is the first time I've been invited to a girl's room after dark. Even though I know there is no ulterior motive behind this invitation, it doesn't stop my mind from running wild with possibilities. One guy, 2 girls, in a dorm room with a tea set. Sounds like a movie. I did not right click. What are you talking about? Mad Hatter. 'Cause it's tea. Get it? Ha. That's funny. Not really. It's clever though. When I put it like that, it sounds a little dodgy. Giving a small sigh to steady myself, I gingerly put my hand on the handle and opened the door, craning my head to see inside. Oh, hello. Wait, am I in pajamas as well? The door opens completely and I catch my first glimpse of Lily's room. Her furniture looks almost antique, but the bare walls and flat surfaces are barely decorated at all. In the center of the room sits a low table where I see a small tea set at rest. It seems that everything in this room has its place, possibly excepting the several piles of books stacked up against the wall. My sense of vision isn't the only one to be stimulated. The faint smell of something can be picked up on the air. Nail polish, perfume, makeup, it's hard to describe in any other way than girly. My eyes finish their quick sweep of the room before returning to their position onto the girls. Oh. Lily sits next to the small table wearing very dark blue pajamas with shorts that show off plenty of her alluring pale legs. Opposite her, Hanako sits adorned in a conservative light pink gown. Her hands are firmly fixed between her legs, her shoulders forward and her head down, as if trying to hide herself in it. It would be easy for her to do. It looks about 2 sizes too big for her. Waves of flannel flow from her frame, making her look like a child playing dress-up in her parents' clothes. She looks up to confirm my identity, and the beginnings of a thin smile creep across her face, before vanishing so fast I can't be sure they were even there. Ever were there. There's no point in you standing in the doorway, Hisao. Well, I'm gonna save it here. I'm gonna make a new save. Mad Hatter, current music track to become one. I'm gonna end it here and